Hi, I'm Donna Stanley, and on behalf of BARF World, I'd like to talk to you about the launch of our new breeders program. I am a breeder of Labrador Retrievers and have been for the last 30 years, so I'd like to share with you some of the things that I've learned about feeding BARF or raw food to my dogs and how it has benefited me. There's a couple things. There's a lot of things as breeders that we need, because if we don't have them, we're not going to, first of all, have a healthy bloodline or breeding females and males. We're not going to probably have really good cycles in our females. Our stud dogs, their sperm count may suffer, and we may not have puppies that flourish or even get puppies at all if our girls aren't cycling correctly. And I learned all of this probably about 20 years ago when I started having issues with my girls not cycling right. They weren't getting pregnant. The litters were really small, and I would start to panic the week before the puppies were born because the mama didn't have enough milk. And I talked to an old breeder, and she said, give some raw hamburger and some cottage cheese. And sure enough, that brought the milk in. Well, now that I feed raw, and that was a high protein thing that she recommended to me, I realize I'm actually doing that now, and I never ever have to worry about that. I also had a stud dog that I spent 3 years in the show ring with. He became winner's dog at one of the largest AKC specialties in the world. And here I had this dog in like the top 30 of the breed, and we couldn't even breed him because when you looked at his sperm under the microscope, it was just dead. There was hardly anything there. And I met a friend who was also into the show world, and she had Bouviers, and I went over to her house, and not only did she have the Bouviers around, but she had this lab mix, and he was like 20 years old. And I said to her, what do you do? Why is this dog so old? And she said, well, I feed raw. Well, I never heard of raw feeding for dogs, and that was my introduction. And she gave me just a little bit of information. I took it home, I started doing it, and I gotta tell you, I saw proof under the microscope when I looked at Mackie's sperm. It was just swarming. So after spending about $50,000 to show that dog, I really wanted to get my money back, and it really helped because not only were we able to introduce wonderful puppies into the world through other breeders with him, but through our girls and some wonderful litters, and he went on to earn his grand championship after that. The other thing that we found is that we just weren't having girls get pregnant. And of course, if you're trying to run a very high quality kennel and do things right, you've got a lot of expenses, and I know you do because I do too. And if I don't have puppies, I have nothing to put back into the kennel or to put into show fees. And so it's really important that we have puppies and that they thrive. And once I started feeding BARF or raw to my puppies, I also saw them be much more enthusiastic. And one thing I've noticed that's very interesting is that they move through different stages developmentally faster than I've ever seen before. And that's a really interesting thing that I've learned just recently, as I'm always learning things. So if you'd like to learn more about not only how your breeding program can benefit from BARF, and also what BARF is doing to create a breeder mix that is going to have ingredients in it that are healthy for your dogs to help with fertility and for your puppies when they go home, we'd like to share a little bit more with you in another video that you can watch to tell you in more detail how that's going to work. So you not only will your dogs and your breeding program benefit, but it'll also benefit you financially, and you'll have that extra money for those lean months and times when you just don't have a lot in the bank. It'll help you that way too. So if you want to hear more, please listen to the next video, and thanks so much for listening. Bye-bye.